walls of the world's darkest and most ruthless prisons, there exists a harsh hierarchy where even the most hardened criminals have their own codes of honor. Child killers, considered the vilest and most despicable, find themselves at the bottom of this prison food chain. Behind bars, retribution takes a brutal and merciless form. Today, we look at the tragic fate of 4 child killers in prison. Liam Dean. Beginning with a 22-year-old killer, Liam Dean from Wakefield. He was found dead in his cell at HMP Leeds on the morning of November 12th. In 2018, he was jailed for murdering his 2-day-old daughter. After Luna's mother decided to leave her with Liam, she thought things were normal. Baby Luna was just 2 days old when she was left in the care of her father while her mum went to sleep. But Dean lost his temper during the night when the baby continued to cry. In a horrifying moment of lost control, he got really mad and hit Luna in the face, held her tight and shook her so hard she got really hurt in her brain, and unfortunately, the baby girl was killed and Liam Dean will be in jail forever. Just picture how small and helpless this little baby is. It's super scary. Dean was really surprised and tried to help himself, and told the baby's mom that she couldn't breathe well and had fallen and hit her head. After the ambulance rushed the baby to the hospital, the doctor sadly said that the baby girl had died because her head was really hurt. It was so bad that her brain was damaged a lot. And then, the police came. Dean felt so upset and admitted that he did something wrong during the attack when they asked him about it. Things changed completely when Liam Dean went to prison, as he didn't know that his life would end there. Dean met some of the psychopaths in prison, from rapists to killers. One of them is John Westland, a 29-year-old, who was serving a sentence for rape and grievous bodily harm. He was originally jailed in 2008 after admitting to raping and assaulting a woman in her 50s, whom he had met in a nightclub. At the time, Oxford Crown Court heard he punched his victim in the face and left her with serious injuries, including a broken jaw. He also had a string of previous convictions for attacking older women. John was the reason for Dean's death. How? Because it is an unfortunate consequence of life in prison that those who are themselves guilty of serious offenses, as Dean were, will find another inmate to look down on. And this is the reason why John wants to kill Dean. At around 05:30, unfortunately, Dean was found covered in blood in a cell by prison guards, and shards of glass were found on a chair near the bunk bed, along with the fingerprints of one of the prisoners. Guess who? They found the fingerprints matched 100% with Westland's fingerprints. Westland told the jury that Dean was regularly called a baby killer in prison and faced daily threats and taunts because of the nature of his conviction. He also said that his cellmate had financial debts with other prisoners. Westland, from Abingdon, Oxfordshire, was originally jailed in 2008 after he admitted raping and assaulting a woman in her 50s, whom he had met in a nightclub. At the time, Oxford Crown Court heard he punched his victim in the face and left her with serious injuries, including a broken jaw. He also had a string of previous convictions for attacking older women. Kirsten Hatfield. Anthony Palma was convicted for killing 8-year-old Kirsten Hatfield in 1997. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Palma faced a violent end in prison because of his terrible crime. In 1997, 8-year-old Kirsten Hatfield disappeared from her home. Anthony Palma, who lived nearby, was later found guilty of her murder. Even though he was sentenced to life in prison, Palma never told anyone where he hid Kirsten's body. This left her family hoping they could one day find her and give her a proper burial. Palma always said he was innocent and claimed he was at home the night Kirsten went missing. He stuck to this story from 1997 until 2015, but in 2015, DNA evidence found on Kirsten's bedroom window and her underwear linked Palma to the crime. This evidence led to his conviction for first-degree murder 2 years later. While serving his life sentence in an Oklahoma prison, Palma died just 13 months later. He was strangled and hit on the head by his cellmate, who was also a convicted murderer. The prison officials believed that Palma was targeted because he had harmed a child. Despite his death, the search for Kirsten's body continued. Palma's refusal to reveal where he hid her caused even more pain for her family. His own life ended in violence, adding a tragic twist to this heartbreaking story. Roy Whiting. Now let me introduce you to Roy Whiting, a name synonymous with tragedy and injustice. His story intertwines with that of a young girl whose life was taken too soon, leaving behind a grieving family and a nation in shock. In the picturesque countryside of West Sussex, England, a family's worst nightmare unfolded on a summer's day in the year 2000. 8-year-old Sarah Payne, a bright and spirited girl, was playing near her grandparents' home when tragedy struck. Sarah's disappearance sparked a frantic search effort as volunteers and law enforcement agencies mobilized to find her. As the days passed without any sign of Sarah, the tight-knit community was gripped by fear and uncertainty. Sarah's family pleaded for her safe return, their anguish palpable as they faced the agonizing wait for news. Weeks went by, and hope dwindled with each passing day. Then, in a heart-wrenching turn of events, Sarah's lifeless body was discovered in a remote field, miles away from her home. The perpetrator of this heinous act was none other than Roy Whiting, a convicted sex offender with a dark and troubled past. Whiting had previously been convicted of similar offenses, including the abduction and molestation of another child in 1995. Despite serving time in prison, he was released on parole in 1997. Tragically, his release would lead to further devastation. In 2001, Roy Whiting was found guilty of the abduction and murder of Sarah Payne. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. The impact of Sarah Payne's case reverberated far beyond the courtroom. It sparked a national conversation about child safety and the monitoring of known sex offenders. In response to Sarah's tragic death, Sarah's Law was implemented, allowing parents to access information about individuals with a history of sex offenses who may pose a threat to their children. While Sarah's legacy lives on through these legislative changes, her story serves as a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of children and the importance of community vigilance. May her memory continue to inspire us to work toward a world where every child can grow up safe and protected from harm. Jennifer Berry. When you imagine a baby killer, your mind may automatically conjure a specific image, a face, a profile, a stereotype for a man. But in the chilling reality of our next case, those assumptions are challenged, for the perpetrator is not who you might expect. This time, the accused is a woman. Meet Jennifer Berry, a former child welfare worker from nearby Yonkers, now facing murder and manslaughter charges. In the vibrant streets of New York City, a chilling crime unfolded, shattering the illusion of safety and trust. Jennifer's pregnancy, concealed from her boyfriend, gave birth in his New York City home. What followed was a sequence of events so horrifying, it defies comprehension. In a moment of unspeakable horror, the newborn daughter was thrown out of a 7th-story window to her death. The perpetrator of this unthinkable act now faces the full weight of the law. She was charged with murder and manslaughter. The woman's actions have left a community reeling in disbelief. The boyfriend, unaware of both the birth and the tragic event, was in another room when it happened. Police were called after the newborn was discovered outside, still attached to her umbilical cord covered in blood. Berry claimed the child was stillborn, but investigation found she was alive when she fell 7 stories. Witnesses described Berry as having a vacant stare, as if lost and disconnected from reality. Even her boyfriend, Giovanni Johnson, who had been with her for over a year, was unaware of her pregnancy, believing she had undergone an abortion. Berry initially denied her pregnancy, later claiming she gave birth in the shower, but the baby was not breathing. She eventually admitted to throwing the baby out of the window. Emergency services arrived, but tragically, the newborn was pronounced dead at the scene, so authorities are investigating the circumstances surrounding this devastating incident, including reviewing surveillance footage from the building.